Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, amazing, spectacular, almost magical Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda, the only sanctioned source of current true entertainment, the only beacon of light in these dark times. Off into a 1v1 own Faymonville Approach to the north. That is Darkcrow fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 9th Panzer Division with assault support, Spearhead, and German Mechanized and south it is 101st Airborne, or the 101st Airborne, with Airborne Rifle Company, and Urban Assault with triple infantry bulletins. We got a Grundy MG42 for Darkcrow, and we got double rifle style left 101st Airborne. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my patron supporters, these champions, these heroes, these absolute wonderful, magnificent bastards who support the Propagandacast on a monthly basis. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon or consider donating my PayPal. Links are in the comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. So we got Darkcrow here off to the races with German Mechanized, with command tanks, 250-1.5 checks, vehicle critical repair, spotting scopes, and the howitzer. Leaving just 101st Airborne here to make his decision to pull the trigger on something. MG42 punch got the center here, so it looks like it's going to try to secure the center and south of the map, leaving 101st Airborne to scoop about in the north there. Ralph's going to MG42 Pioneer spotting ahead. Also worth noting he's moving to secure the terrain ahead of time here, making it harder then for 101st Airborne to launch an assault once more troops arrive and other things get prepared. So we position the machine gun a bit here. Note he's not popping immediately to the building, probably because he's a bit concerned about that, leaving it too static at the same time. But in this case, the 101st Airborne seizes upon the opportunity here. They're made by Darkcrow to take the flank around there. Good work. Second Ralph's coming in here. Machine gun pops into the building. Grabbing some of the fuel from there. Second gun is got ready for Darkcrow, coming for the car pond here. We could theoretically go for Urban Assault Company to just pop an early Molotov here at Darkcrow's machine site there. Other Ralph squad caught it flanking in. Third Ralph squad at the same time. Looks like he's not going for that. Instead, the Ralph squad now getting absolutely focused down here. Not the best place you want to be caught in, to be honest. And the 100 Ralph squad there takes a fairly appropriate amount of losses there, as almost the entire unit gets utterly annihilated except for Carl, who's probably going to be removing a lead from his ass for decades to come. Third gun squad away there for Darkcrow. So far, fairly standard stuff otherwise. Ralph's got in trouble up north here, going points here, going for the car point here. I think he's going to keep up these attacks. He's going to need to bring up either mortar or some sources of smoke, because otherwise this I think is going to end up being fairly painful here for Darkcrow, and so far it's just costing him a lot of manpower without really dealing any significant amounts of damage, although the machine gun is fairly low on health here, so theoretically like a proper attack could still do it, but it is coming out as fairly costly there for 101st Airborne so far. No tech yet for Darkcrow. He's still a bit short there at fuel, but he's fairly close there. Bartwire in the south. Darkcrow continue to fortify the front line. Up north, the opponent's being seized. Brass coming back for the 101st Airborne. Got El Capitan on the way, the 101st Airborne. Probably going to go for a pack charge and that way blast the Germans out of their hiding holes. No mortars for him. No. Only the finest of artillery troops that we can afford. Lots of Bartwire here from the Pioneers. Darkcrow taking no chances clearly. The southeast squad's moving forwards there, catching the Pioneers here. Throwing heavy cover. He's going to have to charge, and that gives the Pioneers a chance to get at least a few more kills in there before they're going to have to retreat here. Gold's got the Gunners assisting here, but yeah, the Pioneers still got. Ooh, that's going to be right there for Darkcrow. That's going to be pretty handy if 101st Airborne in the early game slows down Darkcrow and his attack. And of course, it's just like, kill East, making up for some of the losses. Meanwhile, securing the rest of the map here. That way, punishing Darkcrow for honestly being perhaps a bit too static. That set, the Ralph squad out here trying to kick their way into the building, are getting shot to bits here by the Grenadiers. Almost losing squad there, second squad moving in there you go. MG42 fires a few more extra shots. Captain is up 101st Airborne, adding the BAR. And ooh, we got supervision here on the ambulance. Now that's pretty rare to see, but still, thumbs up, that's unfair. In fact, 2 thumbs up for using the supervisor ability. It's a pretty good ability, but one that gets fairly overlooked. Which gets ironic, considering I remember all of those players kept telling me with the Wehrmacht, in Companies 1 you had a similar ability, except just one guy, not an entire squad there. You didn't get for free either. You know how that was amazing. And then you see, when the Americans actually get a similar unit, they just never use it. Bastards. And this congratulations here, rifling it off definitely had a bit of an impact there, mostly in Lewis and the squirrels inside the tree. South Hick only being tapped by the captain going in with the BAR and Thompson. It's only just, Officer in Cameron's Reynolds had a Luger. This guy does not. I mean, have a pistol. But there you go, still going outside the building here. But there's all this firepower. It may not work out well for the Grenadiers. They're being bled out, and there you go, one for drying here. There you go, forcing Darkcrow to abandon the premises. Also nice, thank you, going for the car punch, further punishing Darkcrow for being a bit too steady there. Medics on the way there. No sign on the half-track yet, or anything like that. And the machine is still fairly low on health. It's like one mistake here could cost Darkcrow. But now, 101st Airborne here, utilising that initiative quite efficiently versus Darkcrow, and really again just punishing Darkcrow for not trying to exert more pressure on 101st Airborne. So, thumbs up there to 101st Airborne. Also can soon fill up with that pack house if he wants to, but Light's going to go for the anti-aircraft tech first, which is fine too. Darkcrow committing to a 4th Grenadier squad, despite having seen the captain. He is clearly not concerned about an anti-aircraft tech being rushed out against him, and is willing to commit to another Grenadier squad first. I mean, obviously gives him more field presence here versus his opponent, matches in essence his infantry as well on the field, so kind of makes sense, but I feel like you should go on for a Pack 41st, and honestly I feel like a half-track would also be a great choice just to mechanize his troops, getting more mobility versus 101st Airborne, which could be quite handy as well. Still no doctor enough 101st Airborne. There we go, pushing out there. Captain retreating, and that will probably then result in something here being pushed out. And again, I'd expect the anti-aircraft trap, no pack outs actually, but well, obviously actually supervises it, but I was actually expecting the half-track. Yeah, he's going to supervise it. Again, thumbs up to the 101st Airborne. Machine gun retreating here. Not a bad idea, definitely needs some health there. But now, the pack house is going to make it difficult here for him to fight defensive around there. Grenadiers slowly in the Rifle Corps, but the light cover plus the veterancy makes it a bit tough for the Grenadiers without like any heavier firepower like a light machine gun to really deal with the Rifle Corps in like any sort of shorter span of time. So there you go, pack house rushed out. 75mm there. Was primarily meant for the infantry mountain infantry division, but will also save service with the airborne units, as well as over a pretty light artillery piece of that caliber. Armoured car for Darkcrow here. The 222. Like the Panzerspiel wagon. No, light half-track, sadly. So yeah, building has been abandoned there though. In the south ground, the victory point here, we got 479 versus 447. Fire around the car from the Rifle Corps straight to the M42 and is quickly routed with explosive assaults. Up north at point ceased, armoured car was done. In the south here, 101st Airborne sweeps ahead here for freedom and democracy, tearing through the goddamn Nazis. And we get Rifle Company featuring here, well, the Sherman EC-8, rifle and defensive structures, advanced infantry equipment, the M3 half-track, and white phosphorus smoke barrages. Captain, though, being met with intense fire here by both the armoured car and the M42, forcing 101st Airborne to pretty much abandon the premises before American soldiers will basically act as fertilizer there. Good quality by the armoured car backed up with the Grenadiers and the MG42. Grenadiers also equipped with an LMG42. Note that depending on the situation, not all Grenadiers would actually access to like squads, but access to like an MG42. They might have access, in fact, more commonly, but access to an MG34, which was actually produced in larger numbers than the MG42, mostly due to a longer production run. Rouse squad being rolled down here, by the way. Not so much else happening. Got pressure in the north there. Good work by Darkcrow there. Obviously now really starting to get pressuring in there. And again, 4 infantry squads is very good for this. So thumbs up to Darkcrow. Rouse squad being bled out and routed. Though again, you could also see squads equipped with like even older stuff, or other types of weapons like, you know, Czechoslovakian light machine guns, which is actually pretty much just the Bren gun with a different name. Maybe some other modifications or certain light machine guns and whatnot. So little fun side, no, they're just even older German ones. Rouse squad there being mauled, push back. Direct hit from the anti-tank gun here. Yep, on the armoured car. Looks like 101st Airborne strategy is actually to rush ahead here for the major and push out some EC8s fairly fast. A bold strategy there, but not necessarily bad at all. Bit rarer to see, but you know, rare does not mean bad, unless it's also weird. In which case, it can be bad. Moving on the centre of the captain. Worth noting, 101st Airborne, while it's not upgraded any of his infantry with, say, bars or adding some bazookas or even a flamethrower there, definitely would benefit 101st Airborne, I think, to add some additional firepower to his frontline infantry here versus Darkcrow. going for another Pioneer squad since he lost another one. And a Granatenwerfer. I think it's a good addition. Bit of a two there. Captain being mauled in the centre. Pushed back with intense losses. Darkcrow though here along the 9th Panzer Division securing some pretty good map control here against 101st Airborne. They've got both fuel points for now. That is a pretty significant advantage if you can maintain it. And could result, I think, in some fairly good tech pace here as 101st Airborne. We'll have to get up tanks faster here. Grenadier squad almost right up with the pack howitzer. 3 kills on it so far, and there you go. Route squad being absolutely mauled. Granatenwerfer coming up here. MU42 with 6 kills through the arm. Cover there for the Route squad is basically crumbling right before their eyes. South here, we got a grenade squad to the building. Not the best building, in fact, particularly not with that light machine gun, as it only has 1 window on each side. Well, there's kind of 2 there, so still not great though, but at least better than I initially thought. But typically the best buildings for infantry are the ones with the most windows, so they can actually have the entire squad firing out of it. The few windows, it's more like for a heavy machine gun team, or at least someone with a light machine gun. Anything moving up there. No tech yet for Darkcrow. Back here for 101st Airborne. No sign of tech yet either. Manpower attrition is on the slightly high end of the spectrum here. Pushing straight for the fuel point there. Gonna need something to do with that. Note the quick use of field first aid to heal them up. Adding the LMG-42 as well. So good. Bombarding here. Actually catching the pack cards with it. Very good. Gonna use them, not quite got the light machine ready, so the rifle squad up close should have the advantage. Unless the Grenadiers can actually drop several members of the American squad fast enough, which they can't. Worth keeping in mind in an engagement like that, the individual rifleman has twice as much DPS than Grenadiers at close range. Now adding this a 5th guy overall, and you know, Grenadiers versus rifle squad up close is very much strongly favoured for the rifle squad. Light machine squad moving in, they're trying to flank here, at least get there we go, rifle off as well. Still, Rifle Squad, I think we'll be able to maintain position long enough. Light machine team has arrived. Tech almost done. It's also great for Darkcrow and could be another problem there for 101st Airborne on top of the other problems he's already dealing with. No use of the Incendium Pigeon Rounds, that's also a pretty good ability. Then again, with a pack out ready to hammer it down, I can understand why, since we're going to have to get it out of there pretty schnell. Close one there, in fact, so yeah. Fresh fact from Northern Field Point here, 101st Airborne dispatches more men to claim it from the Nazis. Rifling it off here. But this time it is worth noting he has actually upgraded for some weapon racks there. Thumbs up. BARs aplenty. Got the point at least rendered neutral, but the Grenadiers there with the light machine gun is definitely punching a lot of holes into Americans. And again, that rifle grenade in particular also did some heavy lifting in that engagement. I think so. To treat the rifle squad here. There's a close call, but not close enough. Also found some tech there for 101st Airborne. As for Darkcrow, no sign of support armor core yet. Honestly, could get away with rushing out awesome here versus 101st Airborne, which could prove to be the end here for the Americans if he were to do so. And actually upgrading more than Grenadiers with light machine guns would be a pretty solid idea too. You could also go for Stug and say, I don't know, a half track. That could also be, I think, a fairly cost-efficient measure. Grab the points here and there, very good. Armoured covering about there for Darkcrow. Troops reinforcing healing, sehr good. Major's almost here done, and there's still no signs of pommel core yet though for Darkcrow, but the Punish rushing back to the base I think should be a sign of that, a harbinger of the Panzerwaffe to come. Also right now Darkcrow has a significant victory point lead over 101st Airborne, 470 versus 315, that is definitely nothing to scoff at. It's not quite critical either, but it could become critical soon if 101st Airborne doesn't put a stop to this manpower leak. So Palmer going out there for Darkcrow, thumbs up. Meanwhile, 101st Airborne, sometime from any tanks, so he's likely going to go for the EC8, which can provide quite a punch there. Ralph squad here as the Grenadiers, being flanked here from both sides. Pretty good maneuver here by Darkcrow, and of course 2 light machine teams is a lot of firepower. North here, Grenadiers is the captain. Major moving up with his pistol. Then he dies. Look, guys! Let me just shoot this crap through the head with my pistol. Oh, got my kidneys. They got both of my kidneys. Damn Nazis.
Points are down to 300. We're losing a
Panther on the way for Darkcrow. That'll definitely give Darkcrow their bit of punch. Grenadiers moving forward. A rifle squad moving forward against the Grenadiers. We've got another squad covering up here. The light machine is on the way for that one. And far up north, the few point is being fought over between here. Darkcrow and 101st Airborne as well. But 101st and actually, we haven't given a divisional name. Let's just go to the 1st Armoured Division holding on there. That machine's almost ready. Armor car joining as well here. There we go. Ooh, shooting at the rear for some reason. I'm going to use a rifle squad up close. Guess they can't shoot out there. These guys are going to have to retreat then if they face the rifle squad with the double bars. The only way this could be worse for Darkcrow if they actually research grenades here. And that might actually be a consideration to do here for 101st Airborne after a certain amount of time. Just go for a grenade upgrade there, since of course he make his troops even more formidable assault troops here versus Darkcrow. Back in 101st Airborne space, we are getting very close to that Sherman EC-8. It's almost taken up with the Panther 4 here. North here, Rifle Squad grabbing the point there. And he's just destroying the building, he's had enough of it. It has served its purpose for Swaziland. And there you go, at the 16-minute mark, he begins calling the EC-8. He could of course use the Captain Suvasi. Is beautiful 101st Airborne, beautiful. Actually using the Captain consistently to rush stuff out here, and that way get out the EC-8 faster. Beautiful. That could problem there we go, adding the Brad Pitt upgrade there, aka the Tank Commander.
A capture point is being overrun.
Hey, my name is Brad Pitt. You may remember me from such movies as Fury and that one by Quentin Tarantino. He's sniping this. Getting sniped with the Sherman there. Good starting kill here for 101st Airborne. No one snuffed out. Rifle Squad gun is in the center. Gun is sneaking about here, hitting the flank of the anti-tank gun.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
Rifle grenade off. Quick snipe there. Leaves in center caught with the armor car and the Panther 4, going for the zone fuel pump as well. And there, Glenshman's line of fire, the EC-8 shot, fire, whiff though. Gleason pushed back in the centre, but the Panther 4 got the spine scopes, of course, allowing to use its range more effectively, by the way. Very nice there, since it technically has 40 range, but doesn't have the line of sight for it. It's typically you have to work together with other stuff. With the spotting scopes, it can just fire its full range effect on its own. Almost got the wipe here with the Grenadiers and the EC-8. Very good there. And this, of course, the other Grenadiers getting wiped, in which case, less so. For Darkcrow here, could of course go for another Panther 4, though also matching some Stooks in to put pressure on these here. I think could be a fairly good idea here. We'll have to see what it goes for. It's also possible Darkcrow may just try and go for tier 4 here. Good hit from these here. Punch or shake for the Panther 4's frontal arm. In fact, it's close to veteran one excellently focused gunnery ability. Uncovers the media. Very close to veterans one there. Need to reconnect his fuel point though. Good harassment there by Darkcrow. Panther 4 self-repaying. Really bad time to do right there by Darkcrow. Honestly, greatly for 101st Airborne, but again, rule of thumb when it comes to repaying your stuff, don't do right within reach of the enemy front line. That's typically never going to end well. He got lucky here, but he could have, theoretically lost the Panther 4 there. And we do get grenades here for 101st Airborne. Thumbs up. Makes his troops again more formidable on the assault. Even on the defense, honestly. Got these moving forward, engaging the Panther 4 again. Shot bouncer this time, though Panther 4 also bounces off the EC-8's armor. Slowly approaching Veteran 2 there. Pack 40 in the way here for Darkcrow. No Stooks, no additional pens are full. Could be a sign here the Darkcrow might be deciding he wants to go for like bigger stuff here. So I've got Rascals, the gunner here, so we've got the anti-tanker backing up there.
Overrunning one of our capture points.
Cap flanking up behind the gunners with Northern Fuel Point. Back here to reinforcing healing, setting up for the next big push for freedom.
Looks like we're getting into the excitement.
Pushing them back there, very good.
Field promotion just came through. Sherman ready to go.
Moving on the centre there, tank traps down. Mines in the south, very good as well there. Worth noting that while he's been good for the other things, technically you say using the Docton's ability to like build sandbags with the rifle scores though, but still laying down mines is pretty good nonetheless. I mean, thumbs up for that. But again, Darkcrow very good at harassing here. 101st Airborne fuel income actually quite consistently. Closing in at T2. Got the path forward ready here for Darkcrow. Mortar's also going to be a good investment here for Darkcrow. You can notice there 2 kills, but still half 8 of it in 3 already, putting pressure on 101st Airborne's advances. But nothing they can obviously seriously threaten the EC8 here, which just keeps punching away there. Reinforcement healing. No. We're just obviously short of fuel for another EC, but I imagine just 101st Airborne will commit to more EC8s here. I mean, just getting a number out, and it's going to be quite tough there for Darkcrow to deal with. In particular, since he's not like building up large numbers himself of armor of anything there. So I'm not entirely sure what the plan is, but there you go, EC8 being fixed up.
We're losing a capture point. Back to full strength. You're starting to get
Route squad, there's a Gundies.
gather round.
Northern point being seized. Captain points to the Gundies, got the Sherman heading southwards. Nice shot there, almost wipes out the entire Gundies. Got 9 kills, very close to 52, and the bit of accuracy bonus there. That shot didn't quite go off there as well for 101st himself. Going to still catching the entertainer, actually wiping out, but could actually try grenade and retreat. He didn't though. But I think if he tried, they actually got a good chance of wipe then Darkcrow. But even then, maybe doesn't need the grenade. The right squad with the bars and the Sherman there might just finish off. Close, but it doesn't have. Actually, Darkcrow's going for a howitzer now. Also got white phosphorus here from the Packard disrupting here. Darkcrow's hold here on the western side of the map. That's pretty good as well. Thumbs up to 101st Airborne, but the howitzer seems ill-timed for Darkcrow. Ill-timed. We'll have to see, but I don't think it's a mortar or howitzer should be going for right now. He needs more armor, so I'm surprised instead of just going for more armor, he's just going for artillery instead. 11 kills on the EC8. North, you got the Panther going for our squad. That gun has been grenaded and routed. Definitely dangerous here for Darkcrow. 101st M getting the Sherman EC8 2 bets in the free and the ace level. In fact, he's close to another EC8 there. There we go. Another supervised EC8. Great stuff for the 101st Airborne. And again, makes it a bit strange that Darkcrow's going for a howitzer. Like, he should expect more Sherman soon. But the howitzer is now ready here for Darkcrow and for Deutschland. Guns being hammered there. Another EC8 out. Good hit by the EC8 on the Panther grenade off. Actually kind of whiffing the grenade. It's lucky there for Darkcrow. In the south artillery barrage off here. From the major, but that looks like, yep. None of the shots that hit the mortar. For now at least. Yep, starting to hit now. And then only gives poor Jurgen a concussion. Got a lap machine there. Ooh, Gunny's got actually got wiped. That's lucky for the 101st Airborne, with pretty bad news there for Darkcrow, who continues to remain on a fairly defensive posture. He's going for more Gundies, but again, crucially, he's not bringing up more armor, which is definitely a bit strange. So now we got the second EC8 putting pressure on Darkcrow Southern flank, and Darkcrow just remains more and more defensive as 101st Airborne just increases the pressure. Oh, you got the captain actually. A small win there for Darkcrow. Hardest bombarding the base. Basically going for the tried method of many companies' players of just shooting and hoping to get lucky. I mean, I'm fairly certain when these men were actually at one point to serve the artillery, they'd be dishonestly discharged retroactively. Got it by the EC8 down the Panther 4, punch straight for the sidearm of the Panther 4, those close to Destiny 2. EC8 they're taking heavy damage, being pushed back here, but still thanks to having more health than a regular Sherman. Plus a bit of armor there is more survival, allowing it to get out of there, that one. We've got the almost 8 Sherman good to go there, halfway to the level there. Glenn in the center ground victory point, we've got 320 Sanders for 241, but Darkcrow really needs to add some armor. Very badly. Honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Darkcrow or 101st Airborne just goes for another EC8, at which point Darkcrow, unless it like brings out a lot of stools, is just going to get steamrolled. Pack out to find where the howitzer is good to go once more here for Darkcrow and Deutschland. No, this wasn't even the biggest howitzer they had. They also had the 15cm Schwerfeldhaubitze or heavy howitzer. Rausgott channel going to use here. Rausgott pushed back there by the Panther 4 north. Rausgott here in trouble, need to retreat there. Doesn't even use it for a grenade. Less than 300 points left here up north. Got the grenades pushed back here with the EC8. And Darkcrow. Still no additional armor. Howitzers find way there. They're actually getting some kills trying to take out the pack howitzer. Almost got it though. Bit better this time around. They're still mostly killing squirrels with it. That was a close one. But not close enough there. In the south, Ralph's going for the point there. Big 2 points wise, very much in favour 101st Airborne. Panther 4 there. Under fire. Gains 22, but the EC8 here close to the ace. Little charges forwards. Only to be repulsed as the pack and Panther 4 proved to be a bit too much. Got a Panther 4 and then the EC8 is almost knocked out now. Will he try and go for it? Looks like it. He's going to try and send the Panther 4 to finish off the near ace EC8. Can he get the shot? Panther 4 misses. And backs off rather than pushes lucky. In the south, taking EC8 moving forwards here for 101st Airborne. Getting ever close to the third one. As for Darkcrow, he's just suffering intense manpower attrition due to the way he's fighting. There's still not a lot of pressure in the north, and he's just flooding so much fuel. And the howitzer is just, I feel like, not paying itself off. Like, for this work, I think it would require 101st Airborne to be a lot more defensive and static than he actually is, and the problem is he isn't. So again, he's just resorting like just hoping to get lucky, which is for like what 300-400 manpower and 50 fuel. Not particularly cost efficient there for Darkcrow. We could say had more tanks out, they could I think put more pressure on 101st Airborne and also deal with the EC8s. Seems the centre here in the south may give us the armoured car, more artillery called in there. Further disrupting here the lines of Darkcrow. Sneak up a northern point there. And another wipe there, another light machine gun drop. That's actually some pretty bad luck there for Darkcrow. It's going to need to keep dropping those LMG-42s. Yeah, most of the map they steadily fall under control of the Americans here. Darkcrow is just struggling here. His Panther 4 is doing what he can, but it's just one tank against so many other tanks. And yeah, 101st Airborne can go for another one here, and he's lost the captain, so he can't actually supervise it. I guess that's a small relief for Darkcrow. Hard to find way to home to get lucky again. Will it work? Will it work? Or will it be another series of wasted high explosive shells? Close one there, close one. Eesh. Northeast is pushing back the Grenadiers here. Actually got some kills there. 6 kills now. That's an improvement, but as you might notice, most of the shields are still wildly missing. And even then the question was this really again worth these 300 to 400 manpower and 50 fuel? Would not have been better served, say, some tanks.
Tank support is here.
And I think the answer is, you know, tanks. But there you go, 30 ECA is now 101st Airborne has a total of 3 ECH versus opponents with a Panda 4 and a Pack 40 and a howitzer, which so far, well, hasn't really done a lot. I mean, it's obviously done something, but, I mean, even the armoured cars killed more than that. That costs only a fraction. Looks like he's laying up for a big northern push here. I mean, that's actually a pretty good idea, I think. Darkcrow's effectively kind of blind. He's like focusing most in the center, so northern push here could be quite devastating. In particular, supported by some smoke and other elements here. And there we go, he's on this shot. And finally, at the 30-minute mark, Darkcrow's coming into another Panther 4. Sherman there getting vets into an armor car, actually just in the spotter there. Panther 4 knocked out here, and there you go, ace level EC there. Brett Pitts got his medal. We got his cousins Ezekiel and Roberto Pitt, they're joining in. And with that, I think Darkcrow is very much dust. As 101st Airborne is just tearing through him. Completely devastating armor push here, highlighting the power of the EC8. In the end, the Howdy just didn't really do a lot there. Great for 101st Airborne, less great for Darkcrow. That GG, game over here. A loss to Deutschland, a victory for freedom, democracy, and American steel. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell friends, tell family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.